35, 45. It'll be a part of the silent auction. I want to thank you all for coming. And first of all, congratulations on the 20th anniversary of being together and promoting service all across the nation. And I just want to salute you all for doing that. Thank you very much. Thanking Paula. I want to thank Wendy also for her work. She does a great job of representing service. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much for what you do every day. Yeah. And of course, I have to say a word about Jeff. Jeff is absolutely fantastic. Jeff came to work with me when I was elected. It's been 2 years and 8 months now since I was elected. And Jeff, I wanted him to take this job as the head of our Office of GLBT Affairs. And I said, boy, if he doesn't take it, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do, because I don't have a backup, right? And he took it, and what a phenomenal job he has done. And he has done a phenomenal job of leading Serve DC, which is our service arm here in the District of Columbia. Exceedingly proud of him. He is a first-class professional. He is a really bright guy, and he is personable. He is really easy to work with, and it's just amazing what he has done with our program of volunteerism and service here in the District of Columbia. Thank you, Jeff, for everything that you do. And Paula, speaking of our city, it's been an interesting 2 days. This has been something that we didn't quite. When I got up yesterday and was, heading out for what the usual day was, and got this call at about 8:30 to say, looks like we have a shooter at the Navy Yard. Well, with a shooter at the Navy Yard, I'm sure that won't be a big issue, is it? And then, of course, it just continued to unfold and unfold. I spent all day and night with it yesterday. Pedro was there. Cedric, my special assistant, was there, and there were so many people who reached out to address this. We, of course, lost 12 people in the course of this heinous event, and then the shooter made 13. But it really is what really tests the mettle, if you will, of a city or any jurisdiction for that matter. And that is, can you handle a crisis like this when it occurs? And I have to tell you, in the spirit of service, I can't be more proud of our first responders than I am at this hour. Having watched our Metropolitan Police Department, our Fire and Emergency Medical Services, the Park Police, our Homeland Security Agency all come together, it was absolutely phenomenal what they did to be able to make sure that the capital city of this nation was able to respond to a tragedy like this. And some of you have asked me, have mentioned it in such positive terms tonight, and I want to convey that to the people who work with us every day. Of course, Steve Laudet, Steve had, how many offices? 13?
13, sir.
13. And Jeff is just one of the offices that Steve has responsibility for and does an absolutely phenomenal job. He has service in his heart. He brings that spirit every day to what he does for the District of Columbia. And, Jeff is just one, again, of 13 people that Steve has responsibility for in terms of community affairs in the District of Columbia government. So, again, I want to say thank you for the award that you all gave me tonight. I come largely from the nonprofit sector. I spent 4 years working in the Department of Human Services, and otherwise had never been in the government until I became a councilman back in 2005. So my whole spirit, my whole commitment, my entire engagement, frankly, has been in the private sector where, frankly, your organization will be as good as your ability to attract people to the mission and cause and the work that you do. I worked for many years with people with, as we call them, people with mental retardation, cognitive disabilities now, and young people. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Covenant House, which is an organization that serves young people who are homeless, runaway, or greatly at risk. I did that after leaving the Department of Human Services. So It's a spirit that I bring. Volunteerism and service is at the very core of what I do. One of the things, and I'll quit after this, but one of the things that we have focused a great deal on is improving educational outcomes for our children. And one of the things that we have found is that the extent to which, not only we can bring good teachers and good educational leaders, but the extent to which we can attract people to see that when children have somebody working with them as a mentor, as a tutor, they really can improve the outcome. We now have 19,000 disadvantaged children in the District of Columbia who have somebody working with them in terms of service and mentoring and tutoring in the District of Columbia. And it's because of what you all do and what others do in terms of service that is making a difference with our children. We have a program in the city. I did the legislation when I was on the council, and now being in this job, I have a chance to fully implement it. We now have universal pre-kindergarten in the District of Columbia. We have about 4-year-olds in the city, our 4-year-olds, we have 92% of our 4-year-olds in school now. Full-day school program. And we have 70% of our 3-year-olds who are in school in a full-day program. And our ability to do that is substantially enhanced by those who are willing to step up and work with our children. So for those of you who are looking for a great opportunity to add innovation to what you do from a service perspective, let me encourage you to involve yourself even more meaningfully in early childhood education, because while there is no the answer, there is no panacea for any of the complex problems that we face as a society, it is probably as close to it as you will ever come. I ask people often, and that is, who was it that decided that children start school at 5 years of age? And nobody ever has an answer, because I don't think anybody knows. And it's odd, because research has shown that 90% of brain development has already occurred by the time a child is 5 years of age. So why would we leave those early developmental years, especially for children who may be socially and economically disadvantaged, why would we leave those years to chance? And people say, well, it's expensive, to be able to, well, of course it's expensive. We know that. But so as someone once said, ignorance is expensive also. try that one and see how much it costs. And frankly, you can close the cost gap by involving people who want to do service projects in the effort to serve young people who are in early childhood education. We now are expanding our infant and toddler program. We just put $11 million, new dollars, into our infant and toddler program. But if all we can do is put money into it, it will never be enough, ladies and gentlemen. Because what you need is not only the money to provide the teachers and the other folks, what you need is the heart. You need to bring a heart and a level of commitment in a way that otherwise wouldn't be there. And it's amazing what can be done to change outcomes for so many of our children. And guess what you get along the way? You get the very young parents along the way also. That 3-year-old and 4-year-old oftentimes has a parent who may be no more than 19, 20, 21 years of age, and you get them and bring them along as well. If I sound like an advocate, you are. I am. That's it. I am proud of it. And I'm an advocate for our city also. I'm an advocate for the District of Columbia. We are growing by 1,100 to 1,200 people every month. We now have a population that's larger than the entire state of Wyoming, a population larger than the entire state of Vermont, and we're coming for some of the rest of them. And I ask you to go home and say, you know what? Those guys in the District of Columbia deserve to be able to say they're no longer the District of Columbia, because they should be the 51st state in the United States of America.